Welcome to our podcast, Parenting by the Pint. Enjoy the show.
Greetings, Minivan Mafia. Lauren and I are longtime friends from Chicagoland that love getting together to chat about life, kids, family, and beer.
Each week, we'll feature a brewery and sample at least 2 of their beers.
We'll also discuss a variety of topics ranging from parenting, pop culture, travel, marriage, and just about anything else that comes to mind.
Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome, you guys. Time for another fun-filled episode.
Yeah, exciting stuff. We're going to be drinking Drekker tonight, which is from Fargo, North Dakota.
I was going to say, I've heard of Drekker, but I had no knowledge of them. Just the sound of the name was familiar when you mentioned it.
Yeah, I've seen them in distribution. I've had some of their stuff, nothing that's seasonal I've had. So I've had neither that we're drinking tonight. And I didn't really know much about them either. So I know they've got a Viking on their can.
Yes. And that's the thing that I recognized when you were like, oh, let's drink Drekker. I was like, yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah. Yep. So we're going to start with lemon apricot brains. There's a lot of A's in here. Yeah, brains.
Not just one little word like normal.
No.
This is a zombie word.
Yes, it is a zombie word. That is true. On the back, it gives the ingredient list, but it says malt, hops, flora, and then gimmicks, which are pretty much the adjuncts because it's lemon, more lemon. It actually says lemon, more lemon,
nice.
Apricot, more apricot, sea salt, lactose, vanilla beans. So, but that's kind
apricot, more apricot.
More apricot. So
I wonder how much is in the first apricot versus the second one.
I don't know.
Versus the more.
Wow, lemon. It smells like lemon.
Smells like lemon?
It does smell like lemon.
And more lemon.
And apricot. You can totally.
Cool. I love that.
Very much.
It looks like orange juice.
It does look like orange juice. Completely looks like orange juice.
And I poured a lot of this in my glass, by the way, because I got really excited.
I know. I did too. All right. I'm going to give this.
Yeah.
It smells exactly like lemon apricot.
It smells like lemon and apricot. Let's do this.
It smells like a breakfast muffin or something. Like a lemon. It
is. It's lemony, but it's not tart lemon. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And probably that's the balance of the apricot coming through as the sweetness. I do get that apricot. What? Apricot isn't the same as oranges and other
orange and
sweeter.
Color, but it's not as sweet as
it's a little
more
an
orange.
Woody.
Yep,
earthy. Fruit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, earthy.
Yeah,
that's a much better word. I was like woody, and I'm like woody is not the right word.
It's a much more earthy fruit. I use apricot in Polish cookies that I make.
Okay.
So it's more of a. Yeah, it's not as overpowering. It's not as super sweet. So it's a really good mix with something that is sweet, I think.
Well, and I think even with a tart flavor like lemon, which could be very overwhelming, to put something like this that is really just a very mellow flavor balances that out really well without taking it up a notch.
Yeah, and this is supposed to be a fruit sour-ish, but I mean, it's not too tart by any means.
No, I mean, this considering what's listed, lemon and more lemon.
Yeah, right? You'd think it would actually be a little more tart.
Really tart.
This is actually pretty good. Lemon nor apricot are my favorites, but I feel like it's a good blend.
Yeah, I know. When you said lemon, and just that one, just starting right off the bat, I was kind of like, lemon, whoa. We don't have a lot of lemon flavoring.
I haven't had a lot of lemon good beers. I've had some miscellaneous lemon in beers. I haven't loved them. This one is my favorite of the lemon flavored beers.
Isn't there a beer mixed drink that's lemonade and beer? Doesn't Leinenkugels or somebody make a shandy?
Yes, they make shandies. Shandies can be any real flavor, fruit flavor, but yes, they make a variety of shandies, but they're lemon. Also, Shock Top makes a lemon as well. It's very much a summer beer, I feel like.
And this does not taste like a shandy, by the
At
way.
all.
So
No,
that's
no,
not the direction I was going.
They were just going with what has lemon. Yeah, no, this is actually very flavorful. It's very fruit forward, but it's very tasty to me. It's got some good citrus flavors, but not overwhelmingly tart. Definitely drinkable. So
You know what you could mix this with?
what?
Champagne.
I was gonna say any sort. This could be a mimosa.
This
I
could
make
be a
beer
beer
mimosas.
mimosa. Yeah.
This is what I do in the summer.
100%. This is perfect.
Make beer mimosas, and this is the perfect beer mimosa beer.
Absolutely.
This is
exactly
great.
what you're supposed to
This
put.
is exactly. Yes.
Champagne in.
Yeah, this is fantastic. Perfect. All right, perfect for Easter.
I know, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna talk
We're
about
gonna talk about
Easter
Easter.
today, and
All
we're
right.
gonna enjoy that. But before we do, tell us a little bit about Drekker.
Drekker. All right. So it said there was a Viking dude on the can. Their motto is handcrafted beer for the Viking in all of us.
Sure.
So they
I don't know
opened.
if this beer is very Viking.
This beer is
though.
totally not Viking at all. But they opened it in Fargo in 2014. Drekker, the word Drekker is a completely made up word. It's a combination of 3 Old Norse words, one meaning to drink, one meaning a draft drink, and Drekker, Drakkar, and theirs is Drekker, so it's a combination, is the feared dragon-headed Viking ship, the Viking longships.
Nice.
So it's a combination of to drink draft something and then the Viking ship.
Scary Viking
Right?
ship.
So totally made up word, but pretty
That's a
cool.
very interesting thing to make up.
Right?
Those combinations.
The combination of
definitions.
these and
one
like,
word.
this is what we're going with. So back comparatively to some of the recent ones, we're going back to homebrewing. So it started as 4 friends
Yes.
who homebrewed together, but they homebrewed together for like 7 years before they actually decided, all right, we're going to
And this is a
actually
group
start
of friends.
Yes. A group of 4 friends, all from the Fargo area.
So like the 4 people that live there.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I don't know
Sorry,
what population is there, but
I'm just teasing. I'm sure Fargo has more than 4 people.
one would
You
imagine.
all probably have families.
I mean, the only thing I know about Fargo is the movie, so I really
was gonna
do nothing
say,
besides
I know they
that.
have a lot of snow up there, and there might be some wood chippers here and there.
Yes, exactly. That's all I got on Fargo. Well, now I know Drekker's from Fargo, but
Yes.
yes. So 4 friends who started homebrewing decided they were going to open a brewery. They opened in 2014 in downtown Fargo. They originally leased a 5,200 square foot space. And then a few years later, they opened a second location, like a mile down the road, which they call Brewhalla, which I'm sure is a reference to a Valhalla.
Yeah.
But it's one of Fargo's oldest buildings. It was formerly a railroad shop, built in 1883, and which was actually built 6 years before North Dakota was even a state.
Wow.
So this building is an old building. They currently only have part of it developed into the brewery and brew pub. They are continuing work on expanding it, and it will include a big food hall market, an event center for weddings and community events, a hotel, and that's all still set to open in the fall of this year, actually.
Oh, wow.
So the
Okay.
hotel is supposed to have 24 rooms, and they're each going to have a different art thing from like different cans on the walls and
Nice.
stuff. So it's going to be a pretty cool place. So if we ever just feel like going to North Dakota, we can go to Brewhalla and stay.
Awesome.
So-
Maybe we'll put that on for your 50th birthday,
50th.
Lauren.
We're already planning 40th,
North
so 50th.
Dakota sounds like
I
a
think when I'm
perfect.
getting older, I'm not going to want to go colder.
At least it's in the summer.
We'll go in this. Yeah, this is true. We'll have to go in the dead of
I
summer.
feel like that's not happening, you guys. This is not a promise
Yeah.
Lauren is prepared to make.
It's really not. No. Anyway, so one more cool thing. They've got this whole like Nordic, Norse, Viking vibe going on. So they also say that they are working to reverse the Viking image by unpillaging. So they say do good and give back.
Oh.
So they worked with local nonprofits to help various groups, but also each month they pick one local nonprofit and they have an unpillaged night. And $1 from every pint they sell goes to whatever that nonprofit is.
Oh.
So
wow.
it's a pretty cool, like,
Nice.
reverse, wording. They're
Unpillaged.
making up words constantly as we go along.
That's
But
fine.
it's a pretty cool thing. So yeah, Drekker, Fargo, if you're ever in North Dakota, I don't know why you would be, but if you are, definitely check this out. The building sounds cool, and at the end of this year, you're going to have a place to eat, a place to sleep, and a place to drink all under one roof. So,
I mean, that's pretty good. I could probably work out like a weekend
right? Yeah.
for something like that.
Maybe we do like a stop in Minneapolis, stop in North Dakota. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like
sure.
some sort of multi.
We could road trip through like Dakota
Perfect.
and then go to Minneapolis.
Perfect. We
and
can go
then
to Forager.
Fargo.
We can go to Top. Yeah, I'm in. All right, we already planned our road trip. Look,
I gotta write this down.
look at that.
No.
All right. So, anyways, we're gonna continue drinking brains, and we're going to talk about how I want to combine this with my champagne on Easter morning, and what other things we like to do
Yeah, what
for
else
Easter.
are we gonna do on Easter morning, or what have we done on Easter morning, right? So, yeah, so we've been kind of hitting this one a little bit as the holidays have spun around lately, and I think it's because we're so excited to have normal holidays.
Yes.
And that's not something we've been able to celebrate on this podcast, really.
No, this is great. Yeah, my family that we get together with for Easter every year, we haven't seen them in 3 years. We haven't seen them since the 2019 Easter.
Yeah,
So-
Easter was kind of the first real casualty.
Yeah, it was like the first holiday that, I mean, technically, like, I think we shut down the 13th of March or something like that.
It was really, really close to St. Patrick's Day.
but
If you
people
want to
kind of
argue,
didn't really, they just kept on with their St. Patrick's Day, and then we're
and
like,
then
oh, wait.
we took it from there.
Yeah, but Easter was really the first big holiday that we couldn't do. I popped up on my Facebook memories the other day, our Zoom Easter that we did.
Same.
Yeah, because
the
it was
same.
we didn't see anybody. We didn't even get together with my parents because it was so recent to when everything shut down, and we didn't see them for months. So we even Zoomed. My parents attempted to Zoom. They couldn't figure out how to get it to work,
Oh,
so
my.
we looked at my mom's feet for half of the time. But
Yeah.
but regardless, we it was our first Zoom holiday.
Yes, we did the same, and I had the same Facebook memory pop up just a few days ago. And that was the day that we let my son have a sip of wine, and he told our entire family.
Yes.
That was Easter, so that's a good memory for me. Especially Easter in solitude, trapped inside with these people, and they're
Right.
roasting you in front of your relatives. So that was nice.
Perfect. Yeah.
Not one of the traditions that has continued in any form. I have
No.
not let my son have more wine.
Okay.
We have not announced, illegal acts to my relatives. Mostly because I wouldn't tell them if I was committing a crime, but
No.
also because I generally don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not on holidays.
Honestly, like now that weed's legal, I generally don't really commit crimes.
I was gonna say,
anymore.
I mean, do I occasionally go over the speed limit?
Oh, for
sure,
sure. Yes,
maybe.
fair.
but am
If
I
we're counting
like
that,
robbing
yes.
people's houses? Nah.
Generally speaking, I usually
Nothing like that.
usually stick to the laws. But
I'm
all
pretty,
right.
pretty law abiding. So that was fun. Let's talk about Easter. So when I was growing up, really kind of the main Easter tradition was the Easter basket. My mom made an Easter basket for me and my brother, and my aunt actually made an Easter basket for me. I don't remember if she made one for my brother because they didn't always live nearby. They didn't move out where we live kind of currently.
Sure.
Until I was maybe in like second or third grade.
Oh,
And by then,
okay.
my brother was a teenager.
yeah.
And so even if my aunt would have been willing, and I'm sure she was,
Sure.
and it's possible she made him Easter baskets. She was always very generous about things like that.
He may not have wanted it.
But I don't know if he would have
teenagers.
cared or whatever, But my mother gave us, my brother and I, Easter baskets for eternity. And the funny story that I had to write down before we started recording, because I was kind of jotting down some notes right before, is that when I started dating my husband, we had an Easter coming up that I believe he was going to spend with my family.
Okay.
I don't think we were married yet. So I believe this was just like either dating or engaged,
Sure.
maybe. I'm not sure. And my mom came up to me at one point and she goes, I just want you to know I'm not going to do Easter baskets for you or your brother anymore. And I mean, I'm an adult, okay? This is when I'm an adult.
You're
I'm
in
like
college or
possibly
past
college,
Right.
maybe older. Okay, so we're talking about like a 21, 22, 23-year-old girl.
Right.
Like, I don't...
You're not getting an
Why
Easter
am I getting
basket
an Easter
anymore,
basket? I mean, if she wanted to get me like a little bag of candy, maybe.
Sure.
Like, but you know,
Yeah,
an Easter basket
I get it,
with presents in it.
Yep.
And so she's like, oh, we're not going to do that anymore. And of course, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's fine.
Right. Yeah.
That's no big deal. Whatever. Don't worry
You're
about
an
it.
adult now. Yeah.
And my husband, who wasn't, I don't think my husband at the time, was like, what? I want an Easter basket. And she, of course, didn't realize he was joking or being sarcastic and went on to make Easter baskets for not just him, but also me and my brother's wife.
Oh my God.
For like years after that. In fact, only I think when I had my second child, who was 8, did she kind of like start to dial it back on Easter baskets for us. At one point, she shifted over to a couple's basket.
I will confirm, but I would not be surprised if me and my husband got a Easter basket this
To
Easter.
share or each?
To share. We've
Okay.
been getting Easter. Even for like Valentine's Day, we get a basket. It's for the both of us, but like it usually has some candy and some holiday towels and like notepads and miscellaneous, sometimes a game or whatever for like every holiday. So
Every holiday.
I will not be surprised if this Easter, when I will be turning 40 this year, I still get a basket from my mother. I don't know when or if she will stop ever, which I'm appreciative, don't get me wrong, but it is entertaining that actually I don't do the baskets for my children.
That
my
was the
mother
next
does.
thing I was going to say is that I had lunch with my mother this week, and this is being recorded right before Easter, by the way, you guys.
Yes.
And it'll be posted right after. So a few days before Easter, she came and had lunch with me while I was at work, and she says to me, like, I don't exactly know how she worded it, but essentially she was just like, how are the Easter baskets coming? She didn't ask me if I was doing it or if I wasn't doing it or what I was.
Sure.
How's it coming? And I was like, I can't believe that you still even ask me
Right.
how Easter baskets are going when you know full well
They're not going.
I'm not making them.
Yep, agreed.
And she was just like, how can you be like this? Like, she was just like, why don't you care about your children? How come you don't love them enough? And I was just like, Mom, I don't do it because you do it.
I'm not.
I
They
have
don't need
to.
two. I don't need.
Yeah,
no.
why would they need a second Easter
No.
basket when they have the one you're going to give them? And then she goes into this big, long story about all the candy she's going to put
Oh
in
my
it.
gosh.
And I start, like, vetoing different candies
Right.
because I'm like, please don't buy them giant chocolate bunnies
Oh my
because
gosh.
you
It's just
can't
gonna
eat
be
them
a
in one
disaster,
sitting, and then
it'll
they'll eat, like,
sit.
half of them. And then
Yeah.
my older child will sneakily eat the entire thing without telling anyone and will, like, find the box under his bed in 2 months. And
Right.
so, like...
Yeah. Not
I just
good.
don't have it in me. We
Yeah.
can't do that.
I
No more
agree.
chocolate Easter bunnies. And while we're having this conversation at work, another employee was like kind of walking through the room to go back, punch in or whatever.
Sure.
And he was just like, "Oh, I love chocolate bunnies." And my mom, you just see like a little light bulb. Ding! And she just dropped off a chocolate bunny at work for him today, which is 2 days later.
Yeah.
2 days before Easter, so that he could make sure he got
got
it. And
the
he
chocolate
comes
bunny.
up to me and he holds this little Fannie Mae bag. Oh, look at what I got! She made a special trip to Fannie Mae. For him.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
incredibly
she's
sweet.
very-
Yeah.
She's very lovely.
No, I
This is a very
totally get
lovely
it.
thing.
Yes.
I am not being critical.
No.
I'm really just demonstrating what she focuses on versus what I focus on. They are not the same thing.
My children do not get Easter baskets from me at all. They get them from my mother. They even got them from my mother. We went last year to North Carolina for Easter.
Oh,
We
sure.
flew
Right,
there,
right.
and she brought baskets with her
Oh my
for
goodness.
the kids.
That is
to
hardcore.
North Carolina. So they had them to open on Easter morning on vacation.
Oh my goodness, I love it.
So
that is serious
that
business.
is not me. While I will say, so like as kids, we always did Easter big. Like Easter was my Busha's holiday, so my mom's mom, and so we always we decorate lamb cakes as a family on Good Friday. We did not do that with my family the last 2 years, but we did do it with my mom and me and the kids last year. This year my aunts are coming and my brother and his girlfriend are coming.
Nice.
And my cousins I think are coming, so like more normal than we have before. So we decorate 6 lamb cakes, and they're always the weirdest things. Like
I know, I love the pictures.
They're never lambs. They're always like one was a whale or one was like a rock star. Like I'm super curious what the children will come up with this year. But
I love it.
They're always totally out there. And we've been doing this since I was a baby, like my whole life before me. So this has been happening. I think the pans my mom has were my grandma's, they've got to be 50, 60 years old. Like, and we bought new ones, and the new ones aren't as good. So we stick with the old ones.
Sure they are.
But so we always do that. So that was always our Good Friday tradition. I don't know if we'll do it this year, but we always went on Saturday, then Holy Saturday, and brought everything we were eating on Sunday to church to be blessed. So I'm Catholic. I'm also Polish. Apparently this is a Polish thing, which I didn't realize when I was a kid. But then when we started getting older and we moved and we went to a different church, like they did it in Polish, and I was like, I don't understand what's going on here. Like, I don't speak the language. But you know, you can generally understand when everybody else walks up to hold the basket and get blessed with holy water. That's who you follow.
Yes.
But yeah, so we always did that. I mean, everything that we ate, and different people in the family would go. So like my aunt would bring whatever she made, and she would go, and we would bring the lamb cakes, and we would go and all the eggs, and we would get everything blessed. And then on Easter, we would go to my aunt's house, which we used to go to my grandma's, but she passed away a long time ago. So my aunt and uncle have taken it over since then. So we go to brunch there with my whole family. So this will be the first year in 3 years that we actually, most of us are together. We still have some stragglers that are not.
That's okay. It
but
happens,
the
but,
vast majority of our family will be together for Easter brunch. And then we do usually Easter dinner with my godparents. We're just doing it with our immediate family this year, so we'll see what happens next year. But we, for the longest time, when we were kids, my godmother's dad would fly in stone crabs, like pounds and pounds of snow crabs from the Florida Keys, direct here, and then he had a little machine to crack them, and we would have seafood for dinner. We would have, I mean 20, 30 pounds of stone crabs like for dinner. And
that's so cool.
Yeah. So that we've always, and we still do that. Even though we're not getting together with my godparents this year, my mom ordered the same stone crab from the same place that we've been ordering from for forever. And yeah, so we're sticking truly with all of our traditions this year.
I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about this a million times, I know, but like traditions like that are so fun.
Yes.
Like, yeah, it's a little extra work or a little extra planning or a little extra effort, but like, how fun is it to decorate lamb cakes with your grandchildren? Like, that's got to be like the most fun ever, you know?
And, you know, my kids, I think because we've instilled it in them, obviously, because they're only going to be 8, but they love traditions. They love knowing that we do this every year with these people, or like they really enjoy that. And the kids now get into the decorating because they're old enough to like do it on their own. And, they even look forward to brunch and stuff. So like now that they're older and they're like appreciative of family and of the traditions we have, like they're excited to do it too. So, they were super excited to they've been counting down how many days are until Lamb Cake Day, as we call Good Friday in my house.
Lamb Cake Day. That's fine.
So it's fine. It's Good Friday. It's Lamb Cake Day. Totally. So we're a little bit different than a lot of other people because Easter really was one of the biggest holidays in our house.
Definitely. Yeah.
So, and my husband didn't do any of that stuff. Like he's actually working for Lamb Cake Day this year, but yeah, but the kids, I think they like all the stuff to do with Easter. We went to an Easter egg hunt last Sunday.
Yeah. We were supposed to do that on Saturday. It was this big, long kind of like ordeal where we had got invited by the lady who lives down the street who's got a little boy the same age as my youngest.
Okay.
And we were sort of going to meet them. And then she was like, oh, I can't go. My older son is bringing the little one to the Easter egg hunt. And I was kind of like, no, I didn't. That's not what I signed up for.
Yep.
And I wanted to gossip with you and complain about stuff. And now I have to like
Literally
watch
watch
kids.
children. Yeah, that's not at all what I wanted to do.
Yeah. And it was like, it was cold on Saturday. It wasn't rainy like we had.
It was cold. I
but
know.
it
My
was-
son had a lacrosse game. I was freezing.
It was
It was
cold.
cold. Yes.
And,
windy.
My kids
cold
just
and windy. Yeah.
didn't want to be. They didn't want to go out there.
No.
They didn't want to do it. And I was
Yeah.
just like, I'm not going to force them.
No, yeah.
Like, and I don't want to go to this.
You're
thing.
like, I don't want to go
So
either.
you're the boss.
so-
Let's stay home.
Yeah.
We had a very low key weekend. But when it comes to Easter, we do classic stuff. We always do an Easter egg hunt with the kids. For a long time, my husband would like wake up super early and go into the backyard and hide all the eggs. And we do this thing where my niece and nephews would come over. So there's 5 children. So we would put 5 different colors out, and so you would only search for your own
Yep.
color. So he would
Yeah.
make it like more challenging for my
Based
niece
on the colors,
and
yeah.
put them in like really difficult places and like put them in really obvious places for
For
my
the
little
younger-
one.
Yep, totally.
Who was 3 or 4 or 5 at the time.
Yep.
And we really enjoyed that. This year, my kids told me they know it was us.
Oh, I don't think we ever. I don't think
You
we
never
ever
were like, oh,
really
it's the Easter Bunny.
pretended.
I
Yeah.
didn't really think about it, to be
Yeah.
honest with you, but my older son was like, I know it's you guys. So I'm not saying we're not doing it. I'm just saying I'm not going to like secretly do it.
Fair. Well, we never hid them at our house because we always did it. So in our family, the older generation hides the eggs for the younger generation. So like my cousins would do it for me and my brother, and then my brother did it for my cousin's kids, and I'm guessing that my cousin's kids will do it this year for my kids.
Oh, I
So like
see.
we always just do the next generation up as one that hides the eggs.
I
So,
see. I like that.
Yeah,
though.
so
That's really fun.
Yeah, so I actually stuffed eggs today, because I was like,
No,
oh
that's
crap, that is
something.
the one thing that I am responsible for because my mother does not do that. Though she maintains the eggs, so she goes, I'm giving the eggs to your dad, and he'll drop them off at your house.
Oh,
You
the
need
like
to
little
fill them."
shells or
Yes.
whatever.
You need to fill them, and I was like, I can do that. So
I remember we had an Easter, obviously, at least a few years back now, where it was quite warm on Easter, and we had put the eggs out, and like all the chocolate in them melted.
Oh no.
And then there were like ants inside them. So I had to take I put them
All
all
the
in like a
eggs,
foil pan
yeah.
and threw them in the freezer,
Oh, okay.
which solves both problems.
Yeah, totally. It does.
Stops the chocolate from melting and it kills the ants.
All right.
But I don't think literally anyone ever opened any of those
Any of
eggs.
it, no,
I
yeah.
found the tray with the frozen because I have a garage fridge and that's
Right,
where I put them.
right.
I found it in there like 2 years later
And
because
you're
I
like,
don't use the
freezer
freezer
for
in my
anything in
garage
there,
fridge
yeah.
because it's not super reliable either.
Sure.
So like if I needed to actually freeze like meat or
Yeah,
something,
you're
I
gonna
would never
leave it-
put it out
yeah.
there. So I was just like, I should just throw
Oops,
this
I'm
out.
just
And then I
gonna-
was like, when's the right time to throw this away so my kids don't see me throwing away a bunch of Easter eggs? Because I have to put them in the garbage.
Right.
But if they see like 30 plastic eggs in the garbage, I'm going to get a lot of questions.
That's totally true.
And then someone's going to remember that they were all filled with ants and it was horrible.
yeah,
and how
we
did
don't
I
need
do
to
that?
relive this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I got to avoid that situation.
That's fair. Yeah. So I had to run to the store today because my husband's working for the next bit, so I will have all the kids with me for the next couple days.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, as soon as you get home and work's over, I have to go and buy stuff
Get
to
the
fill
Easter egg
eggs.
stuff. Yeah.
So I did that. So I got a bunch of things. I actually brought one of the eggs with me and walked around the store being like,
see
will
if
this
what would
fit?
fit?
Will this fit?
Yeah.
Will this fit? Because I don't want to give them just candy. So I found
sure.
a bunch of stuff. Plus we have 2 Easter egg hunts. So the kids want to do one here or with my in-laws actually. So and then they're like, well, we always do one in Aunt Donna's, and I was like, that is true. And our kids might be the only kids that are
Little
Easter
little
egg
kid. Yeah.
hunt age this year. So I'm like, all right, so now I had to fill 2 sets of eggs.
Oof.
Which was a lot of tiny things.
And
So-
it's hard to get those little egg things closed.
Yeah.
They close
Especially
over.
when you have a bunch of crap in them. Like,
and then what if you like forget something and then you're trying to pop the darn thing
well,
open?
and then I was like, okay, what did I put in what? Because I tried to make them like somewhat even on, all right, this
I
person got the
know.
mini toys, or there's silly putty in one, or there's like stamps in another. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Anyways, they're done. They're in bags. We've got
That's
2
well
sets of
done,
Easter
well
eggs for
done.
hunts. But then my husband went to the grocery store today, and I walk outside, and I was like, we haven't even thought about decorating eggs, like which we do every year.
Oh my goodness!
And I'm like,
I completely forgot
we
about that.
never even like thought about it like at all. So I don't know if the children will remind us, which I'm sure they probably
Yours probably will. So my kids don't eat hard-boiled
my kids don't
eggs.
eat them. They only like to decorate them and then
Oh.
just leave them. They don't actually like
I
to eat
see.
them. They just like to paint them. And then someone else can eat them.
I don't think we decorated Easter eggs the last 2 years.
Okay.
I'm going to be straight with you.
We
I'm pretty sure we did.
Definitely did.
Yeah.
So I think that's why they remember. But my other problem then is, so we've been buying fresh eggs from my husband's friend who has like 50 chickens or something. And so we've been buying like 4 to 5 dozen at a time. They're all colored already. They're not white.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm like, what do I just go to the store and buy like 6 white eggs to like
Oh my goodness.
hard boil? Like all these things. I was like, I never even thought
You
about
should
it.
have texted me before I got here. I would have just brought you 6
I
white eggs. You
totally
could have traded me. I
Didn't
wouldn't
even
have
think
cared.
about
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
You
Well, and
felt
I
compelled.
I prefer to eat the fresh
Yeah,
ones.
sure.
But I'm like, they're not gonna paint. Some of them are green, some of them are brown. Like they're all different colors. Like that's
Yeah,
just how
yeah,
fresh
yeah.
eggs are. So I was like, we can't really color these.
That's so funny. So now you have to go and buy special eggs.
Now I have to go and
Jeez.
buy white eggs to decorate and then not have the children eat them because they won't. So
Nice.
Yeah. So that's
Sounds
what we're
great.
So that's
I
what we're gonna do.
Let's
Yeah.
talk about traditions that we don't think are worth it.
Yeah. That would be at the top. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
For sure.
for food, you mentioned some food that you guys eat. We usually go pretty like classic ham, for the most part.
Yeah.
I made lamb one year and it was really, really good.
Lamb's my favorite. We're
Yeah.
having lamb chops with our stone crabs on Sunday. It's like the
What
best
time?
meal ever.
Can
I'm
I come?
super excited. And a key lime pie.
Oh, you love key lime pie.
So really, like, I'm super excited about Easter dinner this year.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I made lamb, I don't know, several years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And my parents just like didn't like it because I cooked it properly, where it was like medium rather than like well done.
My parents like their meat cooked too much. My husband is in charge of the grill when we're at my parents' house, so he will cook them correctly. But if my parents were to cook them, they would be charred. So
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah, I mean, there's something to say about braising a leg of lamb for like a long period of time. Don't get me wrong. And it will get maybe a little more done that
Sure,
way, but
sure.
still be pretty soft. But
Yeah.
like, I just like, I like to sous vide cook, which is a totally different cooking method. And I made the lamb that way when I made it. And it was really good. It was very good. And I did sear it and everything after I cooked it.
sure.
And like, they just like,
We're not having it.
that was just not going to work for them. And so now it's actually in response to that specific meal, I don't really go out of my way to cook elaborate holiday meals because,
They
I
might
don't get
not
a lot
like
of
it.
appreciation.
That's fair. No, I get it. Yeah.
My brother is always like, oh, well, why don't you make something, weird or interesting or whatever? And I'm always just like, I'm not going to do that because it's too much work.
And then nobody's
And you
gonna
guys
like
don't
it.
appreciate
So,
it.
yeah.
I'm always like, you guys are, you don't appreciate my gourmet food.
There you go. Yeah.
Which is funny because my brother loves cooking
Food,
and makes
yeah.
all these elaborate meals,
Right.
but he also does not make that stuff when we have family gatherings because
The same exact reason.
no
I'm
one
sure.
will eat it.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. We for breakfast we always do brunch. We eat something called borscht, which is essentially like day old oatmeal
Ew.
that it's not like, it's like poor man's food. Like it's traditional Polish, and there's different kinds. You can make it with beets. We make it white borscht, but then it's a soup almost, and you put in pumpernickel bread, hard-boiled eggs, Polish sausage, horseradish, and it's like a weird stew thing that it's a very acquired taste. My father doesn't eat it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I am known to be a picky eater. Everything that
There's zero chance that you would eat it. Brandon
Zero.
does eat it. I eat it. My brother eats it. My mom eats it, and like all of my aunts and uncles, generally speaking, eat it. So like it's a very traditional. We have always done this. My mom's whole life. But we also have like apple French toast and like scrambled eggs and normal stuff.
Like
we have
regular food.
instead of like sauce, like breakfast sausage, we have Polish sausage though. We have Polish sausage with everything.
That's okay.
So we do have other like normal food because my children don't eat borscht either. Like
heavens,
there's no way. But
I can't even imagine what my kids would say if I
But they
presented
do like the French toast and they eat the hash browns and my kids eat Polish sausage.
Okay.
So
Sure.
they eat
I bet
the
you my
crap
kids would
out of
eat
Polish sausage and
Polish
pierogies and they're good little Polish eaters generally speaking. But borscht is beyond them. They're not.
Yeah. Well,
We'll see. Maybe I can get one of the twins to try it this year. But it's a rite of passage in my family to try it. But
okay, well that's fair.
yeah. So food, we were mentioning food. That is one of the weird things that we eat a weird breakfast and then a good dinner on Easter. Is what
That's
usually
good. You balance
happens.
out the potential for
Right?
not eating much
Yeah,
to overeat at a lovely meal.
And then
later.
we cut up the lamb cake, not the actual lamb, and we eat the lamb cake which is just like a pound cake with homemade frosting. I love the frosting. That's the best part.
Yeah, homemade frosting is special.
Oh, it's so good. But yeah, so now I'm excited about food. So there's that.
But that's okay because that's half of Easter,
right?
right?
And I
Is
feel
the
like I
food.
need to bring some beer and make a beer mosa because it fits right in with
Yeah.
all of those things. Like this looks like orange juice. You wouldn't even know.
I know. Well, on that note, let's move on to our
Yes.
second beer. I could talk about food all day
Yeah,
and all
we know.
night.
Me too.
But
All right, so this is Smooth or Die Peanut Butter Milk Stout. Mm-hmm. Peanut butter, cocoa nibs, lactose. And then it's got all the malt and hops and all that stuff, which we don't need to go through. But I've never had this.
okay.
Smells kind of like a Reese's.
Okay. Well, that's promising. Maybe not straight peanut butter then.
No, it smells like peanut butter and chocolate. It really smells
Okay.
like a Reese's to me.
Oh yeah. I mean, I definitely get peanut butter. It's definitely the prevailing flavor, but it does
definitely
have a little
peanut butter.
chocolatey smell.
It does
too.
have cocoa nibs in it, so I get a little bit of the peanut butter, a little bit of the chocolate with the peanut butter.
Oof.
Here, too much peanut butter for you.
It's too much peanut butter for Kara. You know what I do like about beers that have peanut butter in them, though? Is that sometimes you get almost a little salty. Mm-hmm. And I do like that
little...
edge on a beer. And I get that with this because it is a very strong peanut butter flavor.
It's definitely peanut butter. Yeah.
And the aftertaste, you get that same breathing through your nose, the salt. Mm-hmm. Just a touch. I don't want to make it sound like the beer is salty. It's not.
No, it's not. But I
got
get that aftertaste to it. Yeah,
savory.
Yeah, this does say it's a peanut butter milk stout, so this is exactly as it's described.
Absolutely.
I would have liked a little more chocolate in it.
Yeah,
to balance out the peanut butter. Very peanut butter forward. I mean, again, that's what it's supposed to be, so I get it.
Yes.
My taste buds would have liked another little bit of adjunct in here to balance out the peanut butter. I think a little bit more cocoa would have done it for me. But...
I agree, or just a little bit less peanut butter, or none at all. I'm just sorry.
Well, if you're making a peanut butter beer, but if you like peanut butter. It's a solid beer, though. It's creamy. I mean, I know peanut butter is too much for you, but if you like peanut butter, this is a pretty solid beer. If you like peanut butter.
Yeah, definitely. I think if you like peanut butter, this is pretty good. I do think even in that sense, it's a bit too peanut butter.
It's a lot of peanut butter. I still think a little bit of chocolate would have made it a little more mellow on the peanut butter taste.
I've had some beers lately, and we talked about one before we started recording about how beers that are like peanut or hazelnut or even, and I know this isn't a nut, but even coconut flavor can be so overwhelming as an adjunct of beer sometimes that I find it very off-putting.
Fair.
And I'm not a huge fan of those flavors already.
So when it's overpowering, you're like, it's just too much for
Where
you.
on the other hand, there have been times where I've had a beer that's had coconut or even peanut, which is my least favorite smell and flavor in the world. And I've been like, okay, this is okay. This is good. I can appreciate this.
Yeah. If it's a
then,
little more mellow on that flavor. Honestly, if it's a little more mellow in general, I don't really love any drinks that like kick me in the face with the flavor.
I don't want to get hit over the head.
I like when it's a little bit more mellow to it. I think a little bit of vanilla in this might have even done that.
Yeah.
But
or even yet another flavor, even like a maple or something maybe wouldn't be bad. I know it's because peanut butter is, like I said, it's a more of a savory flavor than a sweet flavor. So maybe you balance that out with, like you said, like a vanilla or a maple, and then you get like a sweeter.
That actually sounds pretty good.
Yeah. Well, now we have to send them an email.
Yes.
This is great, smooth or die, but I would make smooth or die maple.
I like it. All right, that's an option.
Let's do that.
Fantastic.
Now we're creating beers. I love that. We have
it.
evolved. The podcast has evolved.
We're next steps.
Now, yes.
All right. Well, this was good. I'm glad we tried some Drekker.
Me too.
I liked the brains. I'm gonna pull out some champagne and mix that up and
champagne and brains
and enjoy my Easter. So I hope you all do too, or did too.
Yes,
this
we
will
hope
come out
that
Tuesday.
you did and enjoy this episode so you can reminisce about all your Easter memories.
Yeah.
And we'll catch you next week.
Sounds good.
Thanks everyone for listening to the latest musings from Parenting by the Pint.
Be sure to find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and make sure that you rate, review, and subscribe to us wherever you find your podcasts.
Have a great week and cheers to you all.